One of Donald Trump's main campaign promises was mass deportations. And we've seen in recent weeks these raids with ICE officials go on across the country, essentially barging into places, arresting people, and a lot of it not being dangerous criminals, a lot of it being people who are either naturalized US citizens or here just trying to live a better life. And obviously, this comes after Donald Trump spent a lot of the campaign saying really terrible, awful things about illegal or undocumented people in general, immigrants overall, saying like the legal Haitian migrants that were here in Springfield, Ohio, were eating cats and dogs. Literally a suggestion that they're so subhuman, I guess, they can't live in our society. It was gross. It was truly abhorrently disgusting, and it caused violence against those communities, right? We saw in Springfield, Ohio, schools shut down for a week over bomb threats. People who were Haitian there, their families were harassed. They were harassed. It was awful. So now we're getting stories, two of these stories, this one from today as I'm recording this, or I'm sorry, this one from today as I'm recording this, and then another one from last week. This one exclusive, Trump voter says he doesn't regret choice despite wife's ICE arrest. And again, this released today. A man who voted for President Donald Trump said he does not regret his decision, even after federal immigration authorities arrested his wife as the couple returned home from their honeymoon. So this is Bradley's wife, Camila Munoz, I believe, is a Peruvian citizen who overstayed her initial visa, but was working toward obtaining permanent residency in the United States. And despite the couple's ordeal, Bartel still supports Trump, who has vowed to conduct the largest mass deportation operation in U.S. history. Quote, "I don't regret the vote." This guy's wife literally got deported because of Donald Trump, and he says he still supports Trump. And some of the reasoning here is just oddly confusing. I really can't lie. So this article talks about how they met and got together, etc. And in a conversation with Newsweek, Bartel described the emotional toll of watching his wife being detained. Quote, "It's all been a nightmare, really, taking things as they come and moving forward. We have an attorney. The system for getting people through seems to be very inefficient, so it's taking longer than it should." Yeah, I mean, Democrats wanted to, work with Republicans. It was about 8 or 9 months before the election, the bipartisan immigration bill that would have sped up a lot of these services. It also would have been the strictest border bill in history. I didn't love the bill, but the fact of the matter was that Democrats had reached an agreement with Republicans and it was going to pass. And the American people were very passionate about the immigration issue. And Democrats conceded a lot, said, let's try to fix this issue. Donald Trump killed it at the last minute. Donald Trump made the phone call and said, I need to run off the issues with immigration. And so, again, it's just very strange because he's acknowledging that the system is slow and goes on here to say, well, first of all, that he's received a lot of hateful messages and people saying we deserve this, which I don't think anybody deserves any ill will. But also, again, talking about, quote, he criticized ICE. Quote, "ICE never really has any information. It seems the system needs to be revamped for better processes and communications between departments." And Trump didn't create the system, but he does have an opportunity to improve it. This one is really hard for me because, I don't know at what point for certain people you could be, like literally standing on, if World War III broke out tomorrow and we were like standing all together amongst the rubble, would like Trump supporters still be like, well, I still don't regret my vote, even though he started World War III. Maybe he can just work toward a better America. Like how clear does it have to get? Slap you in the face. This one is a hard one. Again, I don't wish any ill will toward this family, but And then this one from last week that I originally had up in the beginning, Trump supporter wrongly detained by ICE now questions his vote. So this is actually an individual who voted for ICE. And you heard I was talking about, Donald Trump constantly says that it's a mass deportation against violent criminals, but it's not, right? This is Gen Z Machado, I believe, a naturalized citizen. So he is a legal citizen. Said he was in a car stopped by agents while on his way to work in the D.C. suburbs where a large-scale immigration enforcement operation took place earlier in the week, and this would have been last week. Quote, "They just got out of the car with the guns in their hands and say, turn off the car, give me the keys, open the window. Everything was really fast." That's the individual talking here, who's a naturalized U.S. citizen. And then again, this is the individual here, U.S. Citizen detained by ICE agents. And he actually talks about him voting for Trump. He says, "I told him I was an American citizen, and he looked at his other partner like, smiling, like saying, 'Can you believe this guy?' Because he asked the other guy, 'Do you believe him?' And while ICE agents did eventually release him, the other two in the vehicle were taken away. And the incident had, quote, affected his faith in the president. Quote, I voted for Trump last election, but because I thought it was going to be the things, like just going against criminals, not every Hispanic looking like that they will assume that we are all illegal. So again, this is a direct quote from the interview. So essentially him just saying that, I thought Donald Trump was going to go after violent criminals, not just every person who looks Hispanic. And again, I feel for this individual that he went through this, because no one should go through this. But again, like I hope individuals should start seeing now what Democrats have been talking about for a long time, that this is just about this is not about mass deportation of illegal citizens, right? And I talked about this quite a bit. In February, this didn't get as much traction, but ProPublica posted an article that Donald Trump had started sending undocumented people to Guantanamo Bay, or people he claimed was undocumented. And it was described as a literal legal hellhole. In fact, I'm going to look this up in front of you. ProPublica, we're going to go with Trump Guantanamo. I'm going to mistype it, Bay. That's all right, though. And you can see here, this was a pretty intense article from February right here. U.S. claims immigrants held at Guantanamo Bay are, quote, worst of the worst. Their families say they're being unfairly targeted. And this talks quite a bit again about the idea that individuals were literally taken from their homes, flown to Guantanamo Bay, and we couldn't get any information about them. We asked the White House, who are these people? You claim they're very violent criminals, but who are they? They wouldn't release any information. After a while, they just released pictures of some of these people they had sent to Guantanamo Bay, and we just still didn't know any information about them, just pictures. We had family members coming out saying, wait, that's my brother, that's my cousin. He was a barber, a Venezuelan barber, and, he was 50 years old, and he was just trying to have a better life, things like that. And this in itself, besides the morality of it, which is abhorrently disgusting, it is a literal legal hellhole. The idea that you can just take people off American soil. They're at Guantanamo Bay. You can't make a phone call to a lawyer. You can't contact family. Family cannot contact you. And you're just there, I guess, at this point, indefinitely. It's a legal catastrophe. It's a constitutional catastrophe. It's morally abhorrent. And so we got the news just last week that the Trump administration flew everybody from Guantanamo Bay back to the United States. And they haven't really told us why. I think the answer is because they knew that they fucked up. And maybe they just got enough pressure from articles like the ProPublica article. I posted a video about it when it released. And they said that, essentially they had spent all this money and time and resources sending people to Guantanamo Bay, and they have now sent them back, and they will go from there, but we don't know why. It is disastrous and just nothing but chaos what this Trump administration is doing, especially to groups, the individuals like this. It's mind-blowing that this is going on, and it feels like nobody is talking about it. So yeah, my advice would be to use your voice, tell people about stories like this, because it is really tragic what Donald Trump has done to our country. And to this individual who said he doesn't regret his vote despite his wife being arrested, I think maybe reassess that. That's all. Listen, if you enjoyed this video, you can let me know down below in the comment section. I've been posting videos on YouTube a lot lately, so if you want to check them out, it means a lot. You can also subscribe down below and check out the links to my other social medias. So also other social media accounts, they are in the description. I go live on TikTok, I post on TikTok, Twitter, all the rest. And to everyone out there, I hope you're having a good day. Hope you're having a good week. I know sometimes life can be challenging, but keep your head up. I'm proud of you. One day at a time, we'll get through this together. And yeah, I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you in the next video.